Hello, I'm Michael Diamond, and you're watching Muscle Central. Okay, it seems like we have another little battle brewing in the bodybuilding world. Let me try to set this up. There's this man, uh, Patrick Bet David. He has the Value Attainment YouTube channel. Very good channel. He's a businessman, and that's where he made his mark, but he has a passion for bodybuilding. And he's had quite a few bodybuilders on the show for interviews. Now, I believe the first one was Dorian Yates, and that's where this all really started. When Dorian Yates was shown the picture of the top six placings in the previous Mr. Olympia, he wasn't very impressed, to say the least, and he made the comment that Brandon Curry wouldn't have made the top six in his time and thought he looked 6 weeks out. Brandon Curry was one of the bodybuilders that this gentleman had on his channel. He responded. There was no real dirt being slung back and forth. Just gave his rebuttal to what Dorian said, Dorian's opinion, and that was about it. Ronnie Coleman was another one. He was also shown the pictures, and he pretty much felt the same way Dorian did. Except for the fact Dorian really didn't single out anyone except for the Brandon Curry, which was somewhat understandable because, after all, Brandon Curry was the one who won the title of Mr. Olympia. You're representing the best bodybuilder in the world. But other than that, Dorian didn't single out anybody else. Ronnie didn't single out anybody. A couple of others that he had on the show didn't single out anyone except for Shawn Ray. Now, Shawn Ray took it upon himself to single out Dexter Jackson. Now, let me get this out first. I was never really a fan of Shawn Ray. I respect him as a bodybuilder. He was a great bodybuilder in his time, one of the best. But I was never a fan of his. Dexter, on the other hand, I was always a fan of his. Now, anybody who follows Dexter knows you don't want to get into a trash talk with Dexter, because if you choose to engage him, he has no problem reciprocating. And, well, to get back to what Shawn Ray said that Dexter wouldn't even make the top 10 in his day. And he also mentioned the fact that he was on stage with Dexter at one point, and he bested him. Well, when two of them were on the same stage together, Shawn Ray was still more or less at his peak, and Dexter was just starting to roll. He had a little way to go before he reached his peak. So when they stood on the same stage, they weren't at the same point in their career. Like I said, Shawn Ray was still more or less at his peak. Dexter was a little bit away from that point. He was just starting to come into his own. Let's take a look at their bodies, at their physiques. I mean, they have two totally different physiques, but one thing they both did was bring in a very, very high level of conditioning. Now, as far as Dexter goes, I've always said with Dexter, the level of conditioning that he brought, even on his off days, he was still better conditioned than just about everybody else in the lineup. And with the level of conditioning Shawn Ray would bring, you could pretty much say the same thing. Even if he was a little off, he was probably better conditioned than just about everybody else in the lineup. So the structures are a little different, but they both bring in very good conditioning. Now, as far as height, they're very close in height. I think Dexter might have him by an inch, but that's about it. But if you take Shawn Ray at his best, Shawn Ray in his prime, and keep in mind, Shawn Ray never really grew year by year. His body became more refined, but he didn't get bigger. He pretty much stayed the same size. Shawn Ray competed around 205 pounds on stage. Dexter Jackson, although yes, he started from a bantamweight as an amateur, he grew to a full-blown open competitor, and at his best, he's on stage 235 shredded. Okay, so we got two guys, both are bringing a high level of conditioning. The height is around the same. You have one around 200, 205 pounds on stage, as opposed to another one 230 to 235 pounds on stage. You're talking about a good 25 to 30 pounds difference in muscle. Now, if you consider the fact that they're almost the same height, that is a very substantial difference in the amount of muscle that Dexter Jackson was carrying as opposed to what Shawn Ray was carrying. Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll stand by it. If all things being equal, they both have good shape, structure, flow. They both bring in good conditioning. All things being equal, the bigger guy is going to win. I don't care. You can try to argue with me that point all you want. There's no way I'm going to back down. All things being equal, the bigger guy is going to win. Now, Dexter Jackson's response to Shawn Ray was that he would smoke him. We haven't heard Shawn Ray respond to that comment, although I do think that if they had stood next to each other in their primes on stage, Dexter would, without a doubt, have beaten him simply because he would have out-muscled him. It's kind of funny to say that Dexter Jackson is going to out-muscle someone, because considering the fact that on the stage these days, he's usually one of the smaller guys, and it's his other attributes that allow him to win. I don't think he'll smoke him. I think Shawn Ray, he was that good, conditioning was that good. He would give him a battle. But by the end of the day, I have no doubt in my mind that both of them on stage at their best, Dexter wins, and he wins every time. It's my opinion. You might agree, you might disagree with what I've just said. Either way, I want you to tell me in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share and by all means subscribe. Do not forget to hit that notification bell. This way, every time I put up a new video, you will be notified. Once again, this is Michael Diamond, and I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.